What's up, everyone? So now I have a solution on how to fix the presidential or any larger elections, even on a state level, and I really think that this should be applied to almost any level of government. So the people that seek out positions of power in politics usually tend to abuse their power. I'm not going to say always. Obviously, there's some good ones out there, but it's a common problem, and it seems that people who will abuse these positions maybe seek to get there. And I don't necessarily know if that's the case, or if that maybe just greed is inherent in mankind, and it's just so hard for us once we get into positions of power like that to just not be overcome with it. And maybe that's just the problem with humanity and what we're facing. But either way, the giving someone that much power is a very, very complicated process and a very risky process, because they have complete power over us, and if they abuse it or do something bad, then we're leaving ourselves susceptible to a lot of damage and problems that these entities will create. So the most logical solution is going to be to not give them as much power as possible. So we need to limit the powers of government, I believe, and do as much as we can to limit them. I have an idea for my dog running as vice president. For president, he couldn't do anything. My personal idea was I was going to run for president and just vow to never show up in office, but then I realized that my dog could do that same exact job and I wouldn't even have to. And he's a lot better looking than I am, so I figured it was a better idea, so I handed off my candidacy to him. But that's just kind of a joke I got going on. It's a joke, but serious if you think about it. I mean, we can't drop bombs and create wars, and you can't say any nuclear codes like that. So we'll at least know we'll have peace for a minute. And then you can't pass any 1,000-page laws written by lobbyists, so we'll ensure our freedom for a little bit. You can't pass a budget, so then they wouldn't be able to rob us of all our money, and they would have to ask us for money, in which we'd voluntarily give them money, and they could go and work their budgets from that aspect. And I mean, it'll struggle for a while, but it would work itself out eventually, because I think a voluntary system is the only way it should be. But all that aside, we're going to go back to the presidency and figuring out how to make it the absolute most fair way possible. And this way, I promise you, is the way we should be doing it. So immediately, right off the bat, boom, take it to where if you take any money whatsoever, that is a bribe, and you are now committed a crime. So anybody who takes money at all is a crime. So right now, in order to become president, I've looked into it, I've tried, I'm running for sheriff or whatever, I've tried to do all these things, and I actually was able to pay the $100 and run for sheriff. But as far as president, you got to raise money before you can even become a contender, even possible. I think it's like $250,000. So I have to have $250,000 raised, which would obviously come from lobbyists or somebody out there. And the more money you have, I mean, we all know that's what it takes to win. It's $1 billion for the last couple presidential campaigns that won. And even the ones that lost, where does that money go to? I mean, there's a lot of questions, and that's a lot of money if you think about it. That's $1 billion. Anyways, take the money out of politics, and instead of having lobbyists and money and special interests run everything, give the power back to we the people. And I think that getting it going initially, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the presidential election just like we do high school football or baseball or anything like that. We start out in divisions, and if there's a high school, wherever the edges and the perimeter of that high school, all the maps, all the boundaries, everything is already figured out for us. Just take and copy and paste the same high school scenario and the way they work up in ranks up until the best in the United States. Take that same scenario and apply it towards presidential races or senator races or any house races, whatever. Apply it towards everything, state and federal, even local, like I said, and have them run. And what I would like to see ultimately would be where people are nominated, but where anybody can throw their hat in the ring, and you throw your hat in the ring and you go from there, and you say that I want to be president. And we start local in our local communities right where we're at, and people basically fill out a resume, maybe make a video, and just make it about that, on what your standpoint is and your philosophy, and go from there. And at that point, we the people can look and see who we want the best and who has the best ideas or the best whatever. And we'll have a candidacy of however many people locally, and we do what's called rank-based voting. So I ask everybody all the time to try and help contribute any knowledge or information or anything that would help along the way. And I got a buddy who was talking to a buddy in Florida. I'm in Missouri, and he was just a friend of a friend. And he brought up this idea of rank-based voting. And I'd never heard of it before, but what it is where you take all your candidates, and let's say you got 1 through 10, and you take them, and whichever one you like the most, you write as number 1, and whichever one you like the least, you write as number 10, and you add up all the numbers, and whoever has the lowest number wins. And that makes sense, logically. It just seems like a really good way to do things. So the idea I have is to take the political system and the voting system and make it just like college or just like high school sports or anything, any kind of competition that we do with our high schools. Do the same exact thing with the president or the governor or Senate, House, anything, even local. I think it would work, but state and federal, especially on these entities that we no longer have control of. This is a way to put we the people in charge for sure, and not money anymore, because right now we all know that money runs it, and that's just absolute the epitome of corrupt. And the whole system's broken, so we have to do something to fix it, and I think this is the way to fix it, because this way you'll ensure people that the good people will get in there. So the way to do this is locally within your high school. Well, the boundaries are already set. Where the boundaries of the high schools are, that's the boundaries of the districts where the people live. And you can nominate somebody, or somebody can step forward and put their arm up and say, you know what, I'll do it, I guess. I really don't want to, but I will. And you have people that just come out, and for the best interest of their community or for the state or even the country, they just step forward and try to help. And from there, we the people have the decision to look at their resumes and look at their videos and look at what their presentation is and go, you know what, this guy has a good idea, or no, man, I don't like that guy. And from there, we do rank-based voting and take all the local guys, and then we just move them on up to a level, and move them on up to the level, and move them on up to the level, and until we get to all the way to the federal, the last 10 guys or whatever. Locally, we'll start here in our towns or our small communities or even our districts, and we'll go, or even smaller than districts, it's right where our high schools are at. And then we'll just get these candidates, and then we'll do like 10 high schools together, and then get those candidates and get it, and go to the next level, and then eventually we'll have the 10 best people in the entire state, and then we'll put those people together, and then we'll do 10 states over here, 10 states over here, and after a while, eventually it's going to all play out, and you'll have your best candidates. And every time we the people are involved, and we decide every level, and there's going to be a lot of levels, and we the people are going to have to stay really involved and committed, but it's a different way of doing things, and I think it's the right way to where we'd actually fix things. I know it's going to be difficult, I know it's going to be hard, but there's only so many levels we'll have to do. And I think that this way it would take all the money out of politics, because money is definitely, clearly what is corrupting everything. Money is ruling everything, and I don't think that's the way it should be. We the people should be running it. So this is what will truly put the power back in the people's hands and take away all the money out of politics. Like I said, money and corruption is running the world, and it seems like we don't have any power over it. Lobbyists come in and write 1,000-page laws that these politicians don't even read, and that's not freedom. That's not anything besides a spit in the face of what we've created, and freedom, and everything that we've tried to do. So it's not we the people that run it, it's money, and that's the fundamental problem. We got to figure that out. So I think this is the solution, and I think that, like I said, if we just if we try to achieve this goal, it will be the absolute way to get the best person possible and take money completely out of the equation. And I think that nominating people is kind of a good idea, because people that seek these positions usually don't end up doing good things. But if we could put people in there that didn't want it and just would do it for the good of humanity or whatever, I think it would be better. Just like if we know someone that's just a really good person, it seems like those people that are like that want absolutely nothing to do with politics. They're like, oh no, I don't want that. But they're the good people that we would want in there. And we're like, but you're what we need. We don't need these evil people. And so it's just like a circle. And so this is maybe a way that we can do that. And I mean, people are more than welcome to say, hey, I'll do it on my own, you know, and not be nominated. But from there, we just, whoever locally, the first level is going to be the hardest because there's going to be a wave of people, and we can break it down. We can figure out anything. We can adapt and overcome everything. But yeah, like I said, rank-based voting, start at the bottom and just go to different levels and have districts, and then states, and then, you know, nationals, and just do it just like a high school program. Yeah, and just go from there. So I'm going to be releasing ideas like this once a week. This isn't even one of my inventions. This is just an idea I'm having to try and throw stuff out to help fix the presidency and state levels. But I'm going to be releasing inventions. I'm going to be releasing comedy shows and talking philosophy and just doing documentaries on different stuff. So please like and subscribe, stay posted, and yeah, thank you all for keeping up. Appreciate it, everybody. Thank you guys.